All right, everyone, welcome back to the show. Dog's back on set today, so I know that will make all, 115 of you that have subscribed to this channel, that will make you very happy, no doubt. So I'm filming this on a Monday, and it's Monday afternoon, and I have meetings afterwards. So the bourbon, Buffalo Trace in this case, which is not a bad little rhyme there, is on set mostly as a display item, because normally I like to have a drink as we sit here and talk, but Monday at 2 p.m., you know, I can't be hammered for the rest of the day, everyone. So today's video is on something that's very important, and I understand that, look, real estate as a whole is not the sexiest subject matter in the world, but one thing that we're going to do on this channel is we're going to bring in stuff that you really should know. Sometimes people want to talk big picture and they talk real high level and all this kind of stuff. Let's boil it down to what are some things you really need to know. And I deem this to be one of those things, as does he. I mean, I cannot tell you how often he talks about this subject matter, and that is the difference in a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. Because while they sound like it, and we're talking about mortgages here, right? Like typically when you go start the process of shopping for a home, you're going to want to have one of these in place. And you might go, well, pre-approval, pre-qualification, both of them are the same thing. They're saying that, hey, I can go shop up to this number. And the reality is they're really different things, and it's important that you understand the difference between them. So pre-approval is going to carry a lot more weight than a pre-qualification. A pre-qualification, someone like me, let's just say that I'm listing a house and you come in and you're a buyer, right? And you make an offer on the house and you're like, I've got this pre-qualification, it's for $300,000. I will pretty much wipe my ass with it. That's how much it's worth to me. It's not worth anything, because what a pre-qualification is, you jump on the phone with a lender, and this would be an industry term. If you ever hear LO, like the letters L and O, that just stands for loan officer, right? So if you talk to a loan officer, a pre-qualification is this. Hey, John, so you want to buy a house. Great. How much money do you make? And you're like, I make 60 grand a year. He's like, you got any idea what your credit's at? And you're like, I don't know. I think it was like 650 last time I checked. And he's like, yeah, you should be good up to about 300 grand. That's the extent of what a pre-qualification is, okay? And it's really, I kind of am glossing over it, but it's really not much more thorough than that. It's just a rough guess, if you will. It's not supported by real data and research. Here's a rough guess of how much house you could probably shop for. So that's not valuable to us because it doesn't prove anything. You've been through no real due diligence, okay? And there are organizations, and I have to be a little cautious, but over time we'll have more conversations about organizations, especially ones that cater to veterans, who they will not actually do a real pre-approval. They'll just give you a pre-qualification. They will not do a real pre-approval, aka them doing their actual job, until you are under contract on a house. It is an absolute nightmare, and there's some of these companies that I would just recommend that you stay away from. A pre-approval is this. This is the real deal. This is what we as agents are looking for you to go get. And that's where you actually get together. I don't care whether it's on the phone or Zoom, in person, whatever it is, email, whatever. And you actually submit documentation to your lender. So this is where you put in a mortgage application. This is where you get your credit run to see, well, what do we have that's in your credit, right? Do we have any crazy car payments? Do we have any medical bills that could be affecting you? What's going on with child support, right? There's all these different things. And they're going to actually, the lender is going to request documents such as a couple years of tax returns, perhaps a couple of pay stubs, right? It's going to, roughly, it's going to be pretty similar lender to lender, but hey, a rough, thing that they're going to be doing their due diligence to see, well, where are you actually at? They're looking at things like your debt to income ratio, aka based on how much income do you make, how much monthly debt do you have, because those ratios can only be at a certain amount. So that's what a pre-approval is. And again, that's what we're looking for, because it means you've actually been through some vetting. If you have a pre-approval letter, which is the end goal of all of this, is for you, if you're buying a place, your lender to give you a letter, even if it's just a PDF letter, right, a digital letter, to say, hey, look, we've been through John's file, if you will. He submitted documentation to us, and he is pre-approved at 300 grand, because that 300 grand actually carries some weight, and that's going to be what any realistically good listing agent is going to be looking for. So they're critical. No seller is going to take your offer seriously if you do not have a pre-approval letter. I would tell someone, let's just say I've got a listing and they're like, hey, we want to put in an offer, and they're like, we don't have a pre-approval letter. I would say, I mean, don't waste your time. Honestly, like, don't waste your time. If it's a really sleepy listing and it's like, man, I have no bites going on, I'll say, hey, submit the offer, but you need to get me a pre-approval letter as fast as humanly possible, right? Because I have nothing else to, like, I have no competitiveness with the listing right now. So, hey, submit it. But I can tell you, we're not going to say yes or no. Well, it's a no until it's a yes, but we're definitely not going to say yes until you have that pre-approval in place. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. No seller's going to take it seriously. Most buyer's agents are not going to take you as a buyer seriously if you're not willing to go through this. And this is what I come back to all the time. So, you know, look, it happens. Even with people that I know, where they'll send me a message and they're like, and they own a house, by the way, they own a house currently, and they're like, check this listing out. Let's go check it out. And I'm like, why? Like, why? Because what you have to understand, if you ask an agent to go take you out to look at houses, that is a complete and utter waste of their time. Like, it really is. Like, it's kind of, it's not that you're trying to be disrespectful, but you are being disrespectful, because it's like, you're in no position to actually be able to buy that house because you don't have a pre-approval in place. Like, your ducks are not in a row. So you going to look at the house is pointless. It's a waste of everyone's time. And that's what I try to softly communicate to people if they message me this, is like, look, this is a waste of all our times, because it's a waste of my time because you can't actually buy it because you're not in a place to do it. It's a waste of your time because, again, you can't actually move on this property. And it's a waste of the seller's time because they're just going to open up their doors to someone that can't buy their house. So it is a waste of everyone's time. The importance of a pre-approval letter cannot be stated enough. If you want to seriously go out and shop for a house, this is mandatory. Like, this is not up for there's no negotiation here. There's no debates to be had. You will do a pre-approval letter before we are going to look at houses, okay? I hope that was helpful for you guys, because that was actually real deal info that you probably get other places, but you're here. So anyway, if you guys need help, if you need real estate help, this is actually what we do on a day-to-day basis. This is, you know, this is like a part of my job, if you will, to come here and talk in front of a camera and make stupid jokes and things, but we actually are a real estate company. 1911syndicate.com. That's my baby. That's my company. We help a lot of veterans and law enforcement, first responders, all kinds of stuff like that, and just good folks in general. So you can go to the site there. We'll always have it linked below in the video description. You can check that out. Let us know if you need any help. Subscribe to the channel. Hey, especially when we're new like this, it's always tough to grow. It's tough to get off the ground. I say that with a little bit of experience, just because our 1911 Syndicate channel, we started very much the same way, and it is tough to grow when you're new. So if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. We'll keep getting you fresh new content every week. And thank you. I'm glad you're tuning in. I hope you're enjoying some of this. I hope you're getting some value out of it, and we will bring you more good, juicy videos this week. Thanks, everyone.